The kind of crying that comes not from heartbreak, but from witnessing something pure, something so achingly authentic that it slices right through the endless static of daily life and reminds you what it means to be human. Her name is Amelia Van Der Beek. She's just 9 years old, but in one brave moment, she managed to speak to millions. On an ordinary Sunday, she picked up her mom's phone, walked outside into the cool light of late winter, and pressed record. The result? A video that felt like a balm for every person out there missing someone, whether it's a parent, a friend, or even just a simpler time. But to really understand why Amelia's words landed so deeply, you have to know about her dad. Because for so many of us, the Van Der Beek name is already tangled up in our own coming-of-age stories. If you remember TV in the late 90s, especially if you were a teenage girl or just someone with a heart, the name James Van Der Beek is practically a time capsule. He was Dawson Leary, the earnest, sometimes painfully self-aware protagonist of Dawson's Creek. He was the boy who wore his heart on his sleeve, who overanalyzed love and friendship under the moody skies of Capeside. For a generation, he was the face of growing up, of first heartbreaks, of the kind of endless summer nights that felt like they'd last forever. People, myself included, hung posters of him on our bedroom walls. We argued over whether we were more of a Dawson or a Pacey. And when it came to teen drama, his name was always at the center of the conversation. But what we didn't see back then, what wasn't captured in the scripts or the magazine covers, was the man James would become. Off-screen, he grew into someone even more remarkable than the character we adored. He met and fell in love with Kimberly, and anyone who followed their story knew it was a partnership built on real affection and mutual respect. He wasn't just a doting husband, he was a hands-on, wholly present father to 6 children: Olivia, Joshua, Annabelle, Amelia, Gwendolyn, and the youngest, Jeremiah, just 4 years old. Their family life was filled with laughter, music, and the kind of messy, beautiful chaos that big families create together. Then, in 2003, everything changed. James was diagnosed with stage 3 colorectal cancer. It was a blow that would have sent many into hiding, but not James. Instead, he chose openness. He talked about the fear, the uncertainty, the faith and hope that buoyed him through treatments and hospital stays. He used his platform to raise awareness, to encourage others to get screened, to hold on to the people they love. There was a raw honesty in the way he faced his illness, an unwillingness to sugarcoat the pain, but also a refusal to let it define him. After nearly 3 grueling years, on February 11th of this year, James Van Der Beek passed away. He was just 48. An age when most people are only starting to come to terms with who they are, when life's possibilities still seem endless and new chapters are waiting to be written. The loss felt especially cruel because James had given so much, and, in many ways, he seemed like he was just getting started. Kimberly was the one who let the world know. The way she did it, with grace, tenderness, and an almost poetic sense of closure, became its own lesson in love and mourning. She shared how, just 2 days before James died, they renewed their vows in their bedroom, surrounded by family. It was a final act of devotion, a reminder that even in the face of death, love can be reaffirmed, that the bonds we make are stronger than even the longest goodbyes. That detail, the vow renewal, the intimacy of that moment, it's the sort of thing that stays with you, lingering in your mind long after you've read the words. The response was immediate and overwhelming. Friends, co-stars, and fans from every corner of the world poured out their grief and gratitude. Fellow actors from Dawson's Creek, the Dancing with the Stars family, and countless others posted tributes, shared personal stories, and celebrated not just the actor, but the man James had become. The collective mourning felt almost communal, as if the loss had sent ripples through everyone who'd ever found solace in a TV show or been moved by a story of resilience. A month passed. The world kept spinning, as it always does, but for the Van Der Beek family, and for many of us following their journey, grief lingered in the air, heavy and unspoken. March 8th arrived. It would have been James's 49th birthday. Instead of a celebration, there was an emptiness, a gap where laughter should have been. On that day, Amelia asked her mom if she could record a message. Kimberly said yes, perhaps sensing her daughter's need to connect. to say what was in her heart. So Amelia stepped outside, into the quiet, with her father's memory all around her. She hit record. What she shared wasn't scripted or polished. It wasn't about being eloquent or brave. It was about being real. She spoke about missing her dad, about the things she wished she could tell him, about holding on to the love he'd given her. There was a wisdom in her words that seemed far beyond her 9 years, an openness that made even the most stoic viewer pause and reflect. The video raced across the internet, touching people everywhere. It was a reminder that even in our deepest sorrow, we are not alone, that the act of remembering, of saying someone's name, of sharing their story, is itself a kind of healing. Amelia's simple courage, her willingness to speak her truth, pulled people together in a way that few things can. For a brief moment, the noise of the world faded, and all that was left was the raw, beautiful truth of a little girl missing her dad, and letting us miss him too. She sat quietly in front of us, sweetness and shyness blending in her small frame, the brim of her father's old baseball hat slightly too big for her head. She explained, with a little smile and a confession, that she'd stolen it after he died because it still smells like him, like the man she misses so much. That hat, a simple thing, is now her most precious belonging. She loves it fiercely, clings to it, because it connects her to him in a way nothing else can. Reading her words, I had to pause, feeling that familiar ache, because don't we all know the desperate need to hold on to anything that carries the presence of someone we've lost? A sweater, a pillow, a hat, a scent? It could be anything at all. If it belonged to them, it becomes an anchor, a thread tying us to the past, to love, to memory. Sometimes it's all we have left, and we hold on for dear life. Amelia, only 9 years old and already so much wiser than her years, looked right into the camera and spoke to her mom's followers. She said she had some tips, her own word, on getting through the pain of losing someone you love. What followed wasn't just advice, it was a masterclass in gentle, honest, quietly profound wisdom. The kind of wisdom that doesn't shout, but rather settles in your bones and stays with you. And it came from a child, a little girl who had just said goodbye to her dad. Her first rule was disarmingly simple and impossibly brave. Talk to them. Out loud, every day, if you can. Amelia tells her dad about her day every single morning, beginning each conversation the same way. Hi Dad, I miss you, I love you so much, and I'll never stop loving you. Then she just talks to him, sharing the little things, the highs and lows, the ordinary and the extraordinary. She believes, with a child's unwavering faith, that he hears her, even if she can't hear him. The connection isn't broken, it's just changed. She feels him in her heart, senses his presence in the spaces between her words, carries him within her. That, she says, is how you keep someone alive. You love them so much that you never let them go, even when they're physically gone. Amelia talked about the faith her dad gave her, the kind of faith that goes beyond words. She knows, with a certainty that comforts her, that he's okay now. No more pain, up in heaven, above the clouds, in the company of God. And then she shared something her father told her before he left, a gift wrapped in words, a legacy of hope. He said that even if things don't go the way we want, you have to keep believing in miracles. Sometimes, he said, miracles just arrive later than you expect. And if I go, remember, I have work to do on the other side. He was preparing her, giving her a roadmap through grief, before she even knew she'd need it. In the middle of his own leaving, he was still being her father, protecting her heart, making sure she'd have something to hold on to. What kind of father does that? The best kind, the kind who never stop missing, the kind whose loss leaves a space nothing else can fill. Amelia didn't stop there. She said something else we all need to hear, no matter how old we are or where we are in our grief. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to feel every feeling. Joy that the person you love is at peace. Sorrow that they're gone. Anger that you're the one left behind. All of it is allowed. All of it is valid. But, she insisted, don't blame yourself. Blaming yourself doesn't help. Those are words some people spend decades in therapy chasing. And here is a 9-year-old girl, offering them up like a lifeline. And then came her quiet, unshakable strength. If someone tries to compare their grief to yours, if they say, "I know exactly how you feel, I went through worse," Emilia says it's okay to say, "No, you don't know." Because everyone's grief is different. Pain is not a contest, and sorrow cannot be measured. Each person's loss is their own, and nobody has the right to diminish it or claim to understand it completely. Kimberly, Emilia's mother, wrote a caption under the video that said it all. Emilia had simply asked if she could record something, gone outside, and returned with this outpouring of wisdom and love. Kimberly said all she wants now is to watch videos of James with the kids, to replay those memories again and again. She ended her message with a promise: "James, we'll celebrate March 8th every day for the rest of our lives." The response was immediate and overwhelming. Comments from friends and strangers flooded in. Jenna Duan, Rebecca Gayhart, people who understand this kind of loss, and people who just want to offer comfort. Strangers wrote things like, "James lives on in Emilia. She's wise beyond her years. She's a spark of light." They're right. She is. But what struck me most is this: we spend so much of our lives searching for wisdom in all the polished, curated places. Bookshelves lined with self-help, podcasts promising healing, therapy rooms, retreats. We look for answers from experts and guides. And sometimes, the deepest wisdom arrives in the most unexpected form. A little girl in her dad's hat, sitting outside, simply trying to help someone else feel a little less alone. If you've ever lost someone, a parent, a friend, a partner, a child, Emilia's words are for you. Talk to them. Tell them everything you wish you'd said, everything you still want to share. Feel them in your heart. Let their memory wrap around you like a blanket. Take their hat, their shirt, their anything, hold it close. Allow yourself to mourn, to cry, to rage, and to smile. Don't carry blame. And don't give up on miracles, even if they arrive quietly, in forms you never imagined. James Van Der Beek poured every ounce of love he had into his daughter in the time he was given. And she's carrying that love forward, shining it out into the world in the most beautiful, generous way. Through her, he endures, and his legacy is not only in the memories, but in the resilience, the kindness, and the hope she now offers to others. Rest easy, Dawson. You gave the world a gift in that little girl, and she's making sure your light keeps shining.